Yes, now, and welcome back to episode 134 of the Top Loaded podcast. And before we get into a very interesting talking about recent shows, new releases, some very interesting sales, and a certain release that we're very excited for this Wednesday. Before we do introduce, obviously, our very special guest, yet again, a massive thanks to the guys out at Third Downs UK for sponsoring this episode of the Top Loaded podcast. Whether you need card supplies, custom card stands, great preparation kits, or whatever it may be, do head over to their website or do check their shop out and use TTP10 at checkout for 10% off whatever you need. And no introductions really needed now. He's part of the furniture at the Top Load podcast. The one, the only GBW. How you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good. I'm excited to unpack a big episode today. A lot of stuff to discuss, to get excited about as well.
I was going to say, before we get into the actual cards and releases coming up, obviously, it just been was one of the premier sports shows of the whole in the UK. Obviously, Southampton card show. Gutted to have missed it, but obviously, you was there. And obviously, we'd love to talk about it. Obviously, Martin does run an absolute fantastic show down there. So, how was it this one? Obviously, I was at the previous one. And it was an absolute cracking job. But people say, is it busy? It doesn't matter about being busy with that one because it's where the big spenders are at and there's a lot of stuff gets done. So, how did you find this Southampton card show?
Great as always. As you say, it's never the busiest card show in the world, but then again, we're used to London these days, which is crazy. But no, the Southampton card show, it's just the whole venue and the fact you stay the Friday night in the venue, not on the venue floor, obviously, because it is famously a hotel.
Just at the vendor table, just waiting for the morning.
Yeah, camp at the table you want. No, so you stay overnight in the Novo Hotel or any of the hotels in that area. It's so handy. You've got a McDonald's next door as well. I mean, you can't really argue. And even the catering they offer on site, the steak ciabatta is sensational. I know I'm getting into a food review here, but it's so good. I love to see it.
Branching out into a new area. I think we might have to do a new segment. That'd be fantastic.
There'll be a lot of them. But yeah, the whole show was brilliant. As I say, again, it wasn't the busiest show in the world, but there were some big spenders, big deals were done. Make sure to check out my latest Instagram reel, and you will see one of the deals being made. But yeah, great experience, good vibes. Everyone knows each other at that show as well. That's the joy of it, and how he's got his little projector down when the football's on, so you can tune into that. And yeah, I think Martin's got this show locked down to a T. It's just really, really fun. And the fact he wasn't able to set it up the night before because there was some sort of do going on, which it sounded fantastic. We arrived to Reach being played, which is a bit of a belter. Yeah, I really wanted to get in there and have a little jingle, but yeah, so hats off to Martin again for pulling off a great show for the people.
I was going to say that is for people who've never been to a sports only show, whether it's the Sports Card Social, Southampton, or they might have just been to a London card show or another big show where it's sports, TCG, everything combined. Sports shows are very different in terms of you might, like we say, might not have the footfall, but it does get made up by the people that are proper collectors / investors, whatever it may be. A lot gets done, but also I find with them shows, and we'll talk about it in a bit, but the deal that you done was part trade, part cash. And it seems like to me personally at the Southampton card show when I've been there before or Sports Card Social, when you're at these sports shows, because the collector is normally quite into it and understand these deals do get done quite a lot. And it opens the door to other possibilities of deals that might be, I don't really want to pay X amount for this, but when I can put this in with it, it opens the door up. And that's the thing of what the UK is doing well now is the part trade deals, part cash deals. Because for me, some of the cards that I've been able to get via that route definitely would have been off the table if it weren't them getting another card that they wanted in exchange.
Yeah, for my case, the trade I did with Martin, there was no way I was going to be able to afford those two cards I wanted outright. It just wasn't doable. So to add in the card I did, which don't get me wrong, was a great card, and I'm glad I'm glad I finally got rid of it firstly, and I'm glad it's actually gone to someone who's going to appreciate it more than I would in Martin. yeah, just made the deal more affordable. And there was trades going on the whole day. Everywhere you looked, there was people trying to do some trades. You know, a lot of younger collectors as well coming up to the table. Not necessarily asking to do trade up challenges, which is usually the case, but just generally having their cards with them and wanting to trade their cards. And they had some decent cards, the younger collectors, which is great seeing the younger generation come through, you know, get some solid cards for their PCs. And I think one person did actually do a trade up challenge and ended up going away with an on card auto 1 of 1 from some sort of other sport. I don't know how he did it. I don't know who the player was, but I was pretty blown away. But yeah, a great experience with the trading at the show. Yeah.
I was going to say, from your personal perspective, obviously there on behalf of yourself, but also Dub Breaks as well. Obviously having a table there, selling a few bits, trading bits and other like. So how did you find it go from an actual vendor's perspective? Was it like, how was the footfall? Did you get many things done, obviously, apart from that deal with Martin?
Yeah, obviously our most popular thing at these shows is the flick throughs and the sort of the cards to, I'd say, 20 to £50 range, £50 or less. That sort of bracket, I'd say, is what does best for us. We don't have many like groundbreaking cards. We've actually submitted some of our best cards to PSA recently. So yeah, we weren't expecting great numbers sales wise, but it's good to always just get out there and, you know, have the brand on the show at one of the, as you say, one of the premium sports cards only shows in the UK. I'd say up there, probably, you know, top 3 in the United Kingdom, which is kudos to Martin, of course, and the rest of the team who are part of it. Yeah, I'd say it was decent. Again, not crazy numbers on the sales, but solid nonetheless.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of them shows that it makes it worthwhile. I always see these shows as like a reunion because you near enough know probably 85% of the people in the room you already know or you've done deals with before. But it's not always about that because obviously it's nice to socialise the Friday night, but then get down to business on the Saturday, probably in between a couple of visits to a certain Golden Arches in the car park. But obviously, just briefly, obviously, when you walked around the venue, looked, what was the kind of cards on show? Because sometimes people ask, is it just lower end? Is it higher end? Is it mixed? Is it flick through? So what kind of cards were available? Because in previous ones, it was a very good array of different types of cards and prices.
There were some unbelievable cards on show. I'd say the vast majority of the cards on show were out of my price bracket. And out of probably a lot of people's price brackets. But there are, as I say, a lot of people there who are, you know, who do have the financial power to make such deals. I think Ben, BHA Cards, he had a flawless Cristiano Ronaldo to 5 on card auto, which he had up. I think it was over $10,000. I mean, that it's just crazy to have that card in your possession. And Ben, he's such a down to earth, chilled guy. And he's just got a card like that chilling with him back at home. It's just, I just find it crazy. And then there was some great value in the flick throughs as well. Me and a few of the guys, Harry, Charlie, Clinical, and Harry's girlfriend actually, and Lav got involved with a £2 challenge. We had to pick out the best £2 card we could find. And we were looking through flick throughs, of course, to try and find that. And there were some really good deals to be done, which is why I think the flick throughs always do well at card shows. People love single cards. People love a cheap card, and yeah, that's why I think there's a good range. So if you are not necessarily haven't got the big buck to spend at a card show, you are going to find something there within your budget. And if you want to work up from that, do a trade up challenge or whatever, then that's easily done as well, because the vendors there were always very, I found to be quite open to the trading side of things as well.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's a fantastic show. Do recommend anyone. If you get the chance, no doubt, the next Southampton Car Show, when it does take place, do head down if you can. Obviously, it is quite a far trip down to the South Coast for a lot of people. But obviously, if you're in the London, Kent, that kind of area, it's not too bad of a little journey down. But like we say, obviously, moving on now from the car show, and it wouldn't be the Top Load podcast, especially when I'm running the shop around here and a certain other person join us who does delve into the women's side of the hobby. Obviously, it's taken right. We're in October as of this coming out. we've taken 10 months to get the release that we wanted. So we finally got the main release. Obviously, Women's Champions League Chrome is finally here tomorrow as of this coming out, which is obviously on the Wednesday. So we're very much looking forward to this. It's for people who are into the men's side of it and don't really follow the women's side of it. Wherever you've probably had I'd say probably about 187 men's releases since January 1st. If you include the Eternal Bonmati set in the actual set, if we're talking about hobby releases, this is the first one of the year. If we're talking about Bonmati as well, this is the second release of the year. So before we get into the actual looking at the checklist, the card design, everything like that, how nice is it to finally have Women's Chrome back and finally having the date, pictures, check, everything is ready to go. And we've been teased with, oh, it's coming out in October. Yeah, okay. It actually is now, and it's time.
I can't believe it that you've actually said that it was 2 hobby releases the whole of 2024 for the women's side of things. That's just crazy. Meanwhile, men's cards, there was probably 10 by the end of January. So yeah, it's crazy, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. As you say, everything's ready to go. Checklist, the rookies to chase, and you were looking at the checklist, and there's some really interesting rookies to chase as well. With the absence of, quite arguably the biggest team in women's collecting, Arsenal, not in the set. I feel like Topps have done well to cater for the majority of women's collectors out there. There is a player to chase for a lot of people. The one I picked up on in particular is the couple of Australians added in, Ellie Carpenter and can't remember the other one. Can't remember. There's 2 Australian individuals. I think they're both Chelsea. But yeah, they've been added in, and we've got quite a few Australian collectors who buy into our breaks. So I'm happy for them, and it brings in a whole new demographic of Australian collectors into the women's hobby, which is, I'm so glad I'm in it, because everyone is so friendly. Everyone knows who they collect. It's a proper community, and you just don't get that with men's cards.
No, like I say, it's even as soon as the checklist is out, you're messaging people who collect certain players and certain teams, certain countries, and the ones that are going to be going for the same players as you are. You have a bit of a laugh and joke. But as you say, some of the big chases in there, I think the main chase for people, obviously, she already had a card already in Don Ross Women's World Cup last year. But obviously, Linda Caicedo, who plays for Real Madrid, is going to be one of the big chases. She's going to be absolutely fantastic to be chasing. For me, in a personal bias, Rosa Kafaji, obviously for Hacken in the checklist, obviously now plays for Arsenal, so that's going to be my main chase. But you've even got quite a few. What they've done really well, Topps, and they've hit the nail on the head with putting some of the younger American players in as well who haven't had cards. Mia Fishel's getting her first proper Chrome release cards, obviously was featured in other sets. Linda Johannes as well, the young Ajax 17-year-old who just broke into the US women's team. But also Corbin Albert, guess what? Another American. So more chases going for the PSG spot. You got Dragoni as well, but also you got some of the British players as well, like Agabiva Jones is going to be in it as well for a good one for the Chelsea spot. Laura Freigang, you've got Corvantina, you've got Hamano, you've got Ona Batel, who's never had cards before. So you're looking at not just rookies, but your so-called vets who have never had proper cards as well. And they've hit the nail on the head, I think, with this checklist. And it's a very good checklist. All right, there's some people who might say, oh, this player's missing or that player's not included. But I find it very well balanced. They've added more teams this year as well. They've only not have 3 teams from last year's group stage. So there's 13 of the 16 teams. So looking at that briefly, obviously from your perspective as well, selling the breaks, it's quite easier than last year because some spots were very hard to move. But this year seems to be quite well balanced that even the so-called smaller teams with their rookie chases are actually quite sellable.
Yeah, well, if you look at BK Hacken, for example, that is the one that everyone seems to want at the moment, especially Arsenal collectors because of Rosa Kafaji. She is a rookie, isn't she, in this?
Yep.
Yeah, but she's got the rookie. Huge. Yeah, for Arsenal collectors, that's going to be the one they go for the whole year, I reckon. Because as we know, women's sets are few and far between. So who knows when the next one will come out. But yeah, as you say, great checklist, good balance, a lot of ones to chase. Not necessarily just rookies, as you said. I mean, Mappy Leon was another one who hasn't had many cards, if any, at all, for one of the best women's centre halves in world football. is quite crazy. Yeah, again, a few people missing. Ingrid Engen, where is she? Why is she not on the checklist? What's going on there? But yeah, there's it is strong. And I'm just looking through the checklist over on the Dub Breaks Instagram page, famously the page to have released the checklist.
Yeah.
There are some very nice autos as well, and new insert cards. I like how they've kept the core principles of the women's chrome from the last 2 years, but added a few new sort of things in there. For example, the Topps chrome layers, SSP, which is going to be ultra rare. I think the base one's one in 10,000 packs or something like that. So that's going to be fun. Not some really nice dual autos we picked up on the Walsh Stanway one.
Yeah.
That's a great one for Lioness collectors out there. And this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. It's the Chrome Premium Relic autos. I'm led to believe, judging by the Proteas picture, that it's on-card autos on those cards. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but it looks very on-card to me.
Yeah, like if it's going to do one of two things, that price is either going to be very high because it's an incredible card, or it's going to be even higher if it does come out to be on card, because we can tell, for anyone who don't follow along, literally the only on card autos Topps have released so far have been the Itana Bonmati on card autos in her own set, and the base one, which is to 49, does about 400. So, and for people who don't understand, quite a lot of them, bottom A cards have autos. So it's not a case of, oh, it was her first auto. She has loads of autos. So I only can imagine if Bonmati, Porteas, Graham Hansen, Macario, Rolfo, Lica Martins, Parejo, and Corrales all have on-card autos in this set. That is going to be a major chase spot. But just touching on the dual autos, I think that's one of my favorite sets from last year's one. Obviously, famously for me, I was chasing after either the Ada Hegerberg, Wendy Renard dual auto, or the Viviana Miedemar and Stina Blackstenius dual auto. And I don't know what it is with dual autos. It's even in the men's side of it as well. I know they've done triple quads and that. It's just having the two autos on a card. It looks so clean. It's such a classy design, but especially when you get into the parallel format. And talking about parallels, there's a certain parallel that I think is going to do absolutely numbers when it does come out. This is the Roman numeral one, which is number to 11. I don't know what your thoughts on it is, but just overall, obviously, for people who don't know, rather than saying 1 out of 11, it's just in Roman numerals. Number 2, the equivalent of 11, but like a rustic gold, old school design. I've seen it a little. I've not really seen many of them surface from men's chrome, UCC chrome, but that is another unreal parallel to be chasing.
They were so hard to hit in men's chrome.
Yeah.
I don't think we hit a single one in the boxes we opened, which says a lot because we opened a decent amount. But the special bit about women's chrome having this is that they've also got Roman numeral autos, which is going to look amazing. I cannot wait to see what they're going to look like. So, yeah, again, Topps innovating, adding special sort of exclusives, I guess, to the women's products, which is unbelievable. And a few of the parallels have changed up as well. The green has gone up to a higher number, and the out of 99 is now the color match parallel, which they brought across from the men's chrome, which, it's an interesting one, the color match parallel, especially if they're wearing a dark kit. You think it's a black to 10 or whatever, or, if you've got a gold kit or whatever. Look, Real Madrid, that was a big tease from the men's chrome, the Real Madrid ones. You thought it was an out of 50, but no, it's out of 99 or whatever. So, I'm looking forward to cracking into these cases tomorrow at the time of this going up.
Yeah, obviously, firstly, I'll be probably in the pre-waiting room lobby of wherever it's going live on, obviously on Twitch, probably about 9 a.m. waiting for it to go live. But obviously, for anyone who might be interested getting involved in these breaks, obviously, as of recording this is Monday, so we are 24 hours plus in the past. But any spots available for people to look into, even or whereabouts to come and watch once it actually does go live? Because people might just want to watch it and then maybe get involved.
Yeah, well, we've got limited spots left in the first two. There's a few of the big, the more pricey ones are left, but high risk, high reward. sort of spots to go for there, like Linda Caicedo, Corbin Albert. The women we were just talking about, rookie-wise, these are the big ones you're looking out for here. Linda Caicedo first, Chrome rookies. Corbin Albert, again, Chrome rookies. Is pretty humongous. So they're still available in all of the breaks, and then you've got Bon Mati available in the everyone bar number one. So if you are looking to chase some of those big players in the women's game, then yeah, we've got them available, and we'll be live on Twitch on release day. As soon as, I guess, Tops drop it, I think we might be on Whatnot for the first hour or so, doing single boxes, so you can get a cheaper way into opening up or getting in some women's cards. But yeah, check out our case breaks. There's currently, at the time of this being recorded, 5 on the website being filled up.
Yeah, incredible. Like I say as well, for anyone who might not want to delve into as much breaks, but obviously we believe, obviously at some point Wednesday, Tops will drop the hobby boxes on the website, but also it has been confirmed a retail version as well, just like before, the Blaster format. Not been confirmed via Tops yet, but however, some of the distros in US went early last week and had cases up for about $900. So we're thinking that they should be around that 40 area, 30, 40 area again. But moving on to our next talking point, obviously talking about Chrome, we're staying on the Chrome, and me and obviously that Breaks mentioned it last week. We were talking briefly about Marvel and how well it's done, and famously saying Spider-Man 1 of 1 still not been pulled. That changed within the last 24 hours. So obviously for someone who's opened quite a bit of Marvel, prices have still been doing very well. Obviously at the moment, still a bit too early to tell, but it's definitely going to have some sort of effect on the market. Saying that, there is still a lot of 1 of 1s out there, but that Spider-Man has now been pulled. That was the big chase. So probably within 48 hours, Ken Golding's already going to have it in his hands. But otherwise, it's a beautiful card. Let's start with that. The actual aesthetics of that Spider-Man 1 of 1, incredible. However, do you think it's going to have a knock-on effect now to the price of Marvel Chrome?
Yes. That is the chase, the Spider-Man base Chrome 1 of 1. And I'm looking at the picture of it now. The centering and everything looks unbelievable. So if that gets a Gem Mint 10, you're looking at a lot of cash there. Yeah, it's quite frightening to think about. But yeah, that is the big chase, gone, pulled. I will expect prices to maybe settle at where they're currently at, which is near the £500 mark, maybe drop a little bit, but still an unbelievable release from Tops. I personally wasn't expecting it to be as successful as it was, but then again, I'm not really a Marvel fan, so it didn't really hit home with me. But yeah, it's been unbelievable. Some great cards in there as well. A lot of chase cards like Thor's Hammer, the Patrimonies, and ultra rare, like 1 in 10,000 pack chases. Yeah, I love that type of stuff in Chrome releases, and keeping the core Tops Chrome parallels like the Superfractor, the red, the blacks, and all that stuff is just unbelievable. So hats off to Tops, I guess, and hopefully box prices stay at a decent price for people who are still chasing specific characters, because there's still Iron Man, you still got the Hulk, Thanos, Superfractor would be very, very cool. So there's still some big ones out there. Spider-Man obviously has multiple cards as well. So, but that is the biggest one gone, I'd probably say.
Yeah, and when we come to talking about big prices, obviously there's something else to marvel at the moment, and that is the end of the September Elite auction at Goldin. And we've always been monitoring high-end soccer auctions, especially over in the States, to see how well they've been doing. There is a trend of it going up at the moment in terms of the big items, and we're going to get into some of the prices in a second, and I'll briefly run over the prices before we actually have a discussion about it, because it's crazy to me, some of these prices, in terms of why something's worth this and that. But so pick of the bunch. So when I'm into pick of the bunch, we're starting with an unbelievable card, which is a Mega Cracks PSA 10 Messi rookie from 2004. Sold for $5,198. Followed up next by a paper Lamine Yamal 1 of 1 auto in an SGC 8.5 auto 10, sold for $6,700. Then nothing major next, just a 1 of 1 rookie auto Jude Bellingham BGS 9 from inception, which went for $38,186. And now we're talking about some of the probably more iconic cards that you can possibly have in your collection. 2017, 2018, Kylian Mbappe, red 210, PSA 9 sold for a eye-watering $51,240. But then up comes next is probably two of the best sales of all time in the soccer market. First of all, a Dynasty 1-of-1 on-card auto Barcelona badge patch Lionel Messi that broke the $100,000 price, going for $103,000, 701. Sorry, 103,000 we're talking here for one card sitting in a mag. But that got topped by the Lamine Yamal Superfractor Auto 1-of-1 from UCC Chrome in a PSA 8 Auto 10. Sold for $122,000. So for people who are following along with them prices, that is $117,000 more than the Lionel Messi Mega Cracks 1-of-1 PSA 10. There's some big figures there. I know we've spoke about this briefly in the past, and just it's crazy. It takes a bit of time to get used to these prices. Obviously, these are incredible cards. $122,000. Lamine Yamal, we've said it on here plenty of times. Absolute fantastic talent. Prospect is ridiculous. He was unbelievable at the Euros. Arguably, he's Barcelona's best man already. $122,000 for his Superfractor Auto. It does take the words away when you really comprehend how much money someone's just spent on someone who's not even 20 yet and has a lot of football still to play.
Yeah, when you look at the Messi rookie going for $5,000 or something like that, PSA 10 as well, who, as we know, is the greatest player to ever grace the football pitch by a country mile. Lamine Yamal, as you say, he's got, 20, 30 years ahead of him in the game. It's a massive risk because one leg break and it could be over. We're never, ever going to have people like Messi, Ronaldo in football for a long, long time. I don't think people realise that, because no one's ever going to be like them two. We were very lucky to grow up with them and see them. But yeah, Lamine Yamal, 122,000. Honestly, every time I look at it, it baffles me that someone spent that much on. As we said, he's a great player. He's unbelievable. He was at the Euros one of the best players at the tournament, and he just turned 17 just before the final, something like that. So yeah, I mean, fair play to whoever's got that card. Will it go up in price? Depends if he continues at the rate he's going. But 122,000, more than a Messi 1-of-1 Barcelona dynasty by $20,000 is just. I don't know. I personally, I'd much rather that Messi dynasty card compared to the Lamine Yamal. I don't know what people listening think as well, but that Messi card on card as well, just it's special. That card is beautiful.
Yeah, it's like when we look at some of the other prices as well, and one of them I wanted to talk about was the Jude Bellingham Inception. Inception is not the marquee release as well. It's not your Chrome or something like that. But even a Jude Bellingham auto 1-of-1 doing $38,000. Obviously now he's moved to Real Madrid. Everyone knows how good he is. Not on the best form as well at the moment. So it's not like he's on a high in terms of performance. Shows you that something is right in the soccer world. It probably might be just a high end in terms of overall prices at the moment. But seeing a Jude Bellingham go for $38,000, seeing a non-auto, obviously he hasn't had many, and obviously one of his first cards, obviously the red Kylian Mbappe Chrome, which is, in my personal opinion, the best Chrome ever released in terms of aesthetics, the looks, everything about it is just incredible. To go for $51,000. But then I do turn my attention back. I know Mega Cracks is, people do say, oh yeah, but it's the match attacks, whatever it may be equivalent in Spain. But seeing that card in a 10, which is brilliant as it is, if I had a war chest available, that seems like a bit of a no-brainer to me. $5,200 in comparison to some of the other prices we're seeing. That I don't think we'll ever truly understand the market. Obviously, his rookie is not as desirable. It's not a chrome. It's not a whatever it may be. But obviously, there's not much Messi rookies. This is the best of the best you're going to get. Obviously, it's him in his action shot, not the close-up version, but for the greatest person to ever live to play football, that is crazy to me that that's only $5,200 and probably will always baffle me, but it definitely is quite intriguing. It'd be quite nice to see. It's a shame there's probably not a Ronaldo, like a big Ronaldo in that sale, because like obviously him famously not signing yet in Dynasty. It would have been nice to see some of his one of ones and what they went for. But just to close off talking about this, obviously Golden moving more into the soccer world, as we've seen on the documentary and as we've heard in person. Obviously having a bit more intact now of the UK scene as well. Obviously being at London card show, been to German card shows as well. It's quite interesting to follow this over the next 12 months. I don't know if you would agree that these high-end sales, what directory they're going, because it could bring new people into investing in soccer because of seeing these big sales. But then again, there's not many of these big cards out there which will do the 5, 25, 50, 100k sales.
You just got to wait till those new rookies come through. I mean, the people in the hobby have tried to push Barcelona rookies the last few years, and finally they've got one who's actually pretty good. Obviously, Pedri, Gavi, Ansu Fati spring to mind when it comes to Barcelona rookies who weren't quite as good as people hyped them up to be. But yeah, with Lamine Yamal coming through, and then I'd imagine there's some other ridiculous talents in Spain. They usually come from Spain, lurking, or South America, somewhere like that. When they get cards, it's exciting. It is exciting. So I'm hopeful that there will be some more big rookies to come. Just so we can, firstly, there's more people to chase rather than just Lamine Yamal. Because when you're entering a box break these days, if you don't hit a Lamine Yamal, you're pretty screwed, because he is the guy. Even the base, even the inserts are going for ridiculous money. So yeah, hopefully there's some new rookies around the corner, and hopefully Topps continue to add Ronaldo, Messi autos, short print. Might I just say, not like too high printed, because that would reduce their value of them. But some nice short print CR7 and Messi autos will keep people ticking along, and that's who people who are obviously into football will be looking out for when they're buying the product.
Yeah, like I say, it's going to be very intriguing, especially later on down the line when we start getting this season. Obviously, there's 2024, 2025 releases where Yamal's rookie logo disappears, and it's just going to be intriguing to see what happens with the checklist, prices, and everything like that. But obviously, to end off this episode, it would not be an episode without pickups. I did promise everyone last week that my certain card hobby delivery was arriving very soon, so I do have some very nice pickups. And I did laugh and joke last week saying which would win first, the box from China or the box from Milton Keynes. The actual one from China won by 38 minutes, to be precise, so congratulations. But the cricket box is nothing to write home for, so I'm going to show some of my some of these pickups off. There was quite a few. I'm going to just focus on some of the higher stuff that I prefer. And obviously, people know that I've been chasing Arsenal Forever autos for quite a while. And the prices over in China are a bit different to over here. So obviously, famously started buying Chloe Lacasse cards, her autos, the morning of her leaving, but don't really care. So I managed to pick up the base, orange to 25. And now I picked up, believe it or not, people will not be shocked to see I've picked up a Stina Black Stenius card. Pink to 75, a Chloe Lacasse auto to 10, which I've got to admit, the black border. I weren't too sure on these when they first come out, but they are very nice. A Lena Hertig to 15, and then one of my favorite design ones, the Manu Zinsberger to 49. And then a more random couple of pickups, a lovely Topps Now to 99, Victor Boniface, Xabi Alonso, Florian Wirtz from last season. And then the biggest random one, and people won't understand why I've got this card, a lovely gold to 10 from Copa America President of Carlos Coronel. the New York Red Bulls keeper, and I'm not mentioning New York Red Bulls on this thing because I'll be annoyed because I stayed up and watched them lose 5-1 to their main rivals. So I'm not talking anymore about that one. Obviously, coming back from the Southampton card show and as well as some other pickups, and something tells me that there's actually some cracking cards that have entered GBW headquarters in the recent few days / weeks.
After probably, I don't know, two months or so of being well behaved, not buying many massive cards, not buying into breaks, stuff like this. So it was nice seeing the money start to go up a little bit. The last few weeks have been a little bit crazy, actually. We'll start off with a purchase I made on eBay from a guy who was an unbelievable seller. I couldn't quite believe this when I saw this pre-QPR fixture at London St Pancras Wetherspoons. Just browsing eBay and managed to come across some pretty sensational cards. We've got the Impeccable Impressions Gold to 10 rookie auto Ebere Eze. So it's got the gold border there. Obviously, as you know, people who do follow me, I do collect the gold Ezes, rookies, or short print stuff. Nothing too high numbered anymore. And as part of that deal as well, one of the biggest cards I've now got in my PC of Eze is this gold PSA 10, got 210 gold wave rookie from Prism 2020-2021. That's 8 of 10. So yeah, if the guy who did sell me those cards is watching, thank you. That's two of the biggest cards in my collection right now. But yeah, quite a lot of money as well. Obviously, Southampton card show came around and we picked up some more cards. We'll start off with these two. So this is from Fora. I'm sure he's listening. The Blue Shimmer rated rookie, PSA 10, Pop 2. Only myself and Fora have PSA 10s of this very card. So that's cool. He also sold me a 3 of 7 Obsidian Volcanic Signatures card from T-Ball, which looks really nice. Nice red parallel there. Where next? We'll carry on the Eze theme, and then we'll get on to the last one. On card, rookie to 5 Canvas Creations. Redemption card from guess who? None other than Martin Card Sales. So I've now got the out of 5, the out of 10, and the out of 96, I think it is, of this on card rookie auto from Impeccable. The nicest one as well. It's beautiful. That's it done with Eze's. And then the last card is, I saw it again with Martin, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted it. I don't know why. It just looked amazing. Hidden Gems, Lionel Messi, MLS Finest, Gem Mint 10. I was just talking about how we love Messi. He's the greatest player to ever live. So to have a Hidden Gems card of his, which is going to stay on the PC, and if in the future I ever want to sell it, it's not exactly going to lose its value. So it just made sense to do that deal, which is part of that trade deal we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I think it's like I've just asked for you to show your highlights of your PC there. Some of them cards, and it's definitely taken a step up. I can say that the PC, but I've lost for words on some of them cards, especially that Hidden Gems, Lionel Messi, PSA 10, obviously him in the Inter Miami kit. It's just a stunning card. And Hidden Gems you just don't see as well at the same time. Like these are unbelievable cards, but just don't see them, especially in 10s as well. So they normally are quite a tough grade. I can see what you mean now. You was well behaved, you didn't really buy any cards, and then that went 0 to 100 real quick.
I wasn't expecting it to, but I mean, I wasn't expecting to spend as much as I did at Southampton until Martin messaged me the night before saying he had that on card as 8 of 5, and then go to his table, see the Hidden Gems Messi, go to Fora's table, see those other 2 cards. So an expensive few weeks. Need to sell a few cards now to recuperate a bit of the loss, but at the end of the day, my PC has taken a massive upgrade, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's always nice when you do manage to add them pieces to the PC that you've been chasing for a while, or even them cards that you've admired but never thought you can add to the collection. They're always the great ones. And obviously now with releases coming up, there's going to be some new ones that be added on people's checklist. Like for me, hopefully I'll have an update this time next episode of managing to hit a nice Rosa Kafaji. Otherwise, I will be buying a lot of Rosa Kafaji cards. But obviously for you, anything else on the horizon? Any shows that you're planning on going, or anything that I was going to say card related, but I feel like there might be a bit of a stopgap for the moment until a certain sticker release next month.
Oh God, yeah. WSL stickers, November, everybody, just got announced at the time of just before we pressed record. Yeah. So that's exciting. WSL stickers will be opening up a lot of those on the channel and on the podcast. Probably we can just sit there and rip some packs. It'll be fun.
That's going to happen.
Okay, cool, nice. Other stuff I'd probably look out for card-wise. Chloe Kelly auto from Man City Forever. I do want to get one. Just waiting for the price to settle at the moment because I feel like it's a little bit too high at the moment. But that's her first autos, official autos in the product. So maybe it won't go down too much. But that's what I'm looking out for there. Release-wise, obviously Women's Chrome releasing tomorrow at the time of upload. Anything else? Stadium Club, I'm always a fan of that one. That's end of this month. So that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. And next card show, not sure because I'm actually on tour end of this month and beginning of next. The Top Match Attacks tour, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be cruising around the country and Ireland as well. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, like I say, it's all bundle fun this time of year. Like I say, it might be getting a bit darker a bit earlier, but that just means you spend more time on eBay and watching breaks, which is even more expensive rather than hitting like a Twilight golf round. I'm just waiting for dub breaks to go live with BK Hacking Spot. So I'm not complaining at all on that one. But like we say, on International Podcast Day, as of recording this, there's a massive thank you yet again for all the support. We managed to hit 10,000 listens for 2024 over the weekend. So it's been absolutely fantastic. Closing in on about 30,000 all-time listens as well. So like I say, it's just incredible support and there's just more to come. There's going to be some great stuff. A few things planned as well for the future, some special episodes and events, which are going to be a bundle of fun to join. But obviously, GW, obviously, people will see you in the stream Wednesday. No doubt I will definitely be there as well. But like I said, massive thanks for coming on again. And no doubt it'll probably be a couple of weeks and you'll be back again.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and hope everyone enjoys Women's Chrome release week. And I'll see you soon.
Like I say, a massive thank you for everyone who's watching, listening, whatever it may be. Hope everyone out there is doing well, staying safe, buying, selling, trading, and all of that good jazz. But most importantly, happy hobbying and good night.